It is the most abhorrent of crimes what has happened. And the seer or pontiff should be immediately arrested. I am aghast that he has not been arrested yet, even though the POCSO Act has been applied in the FIR. The BJP government and all its supporters should be ashamed. In POCSO, let me tell you, first of all, Supreme Court has said you cannot have an anticipatory bail in POCSO Act. Number two, an arrest has to be made within 24 hours. It doesn't matter if that person is very brave or a religious leader or a politician. I'm sorry. The arrest is mandatory. So cheap politicking on this issue must end. Therefore, I am all the more glad that one of the most vociferous voices on this, asking for the seer's arrest, is actually Mr. Vishwanath, who is a BJP MLC. Many from the ruling dispensation, shamefully, as well as the opposition that you mentioned, are silent on this, fearing loss of Lingayat vote bank. But kudos to Mr. Vishwanath. We have seen, Rahul, how when religious leaders are accused of rape, there is not only laxity from the legislator and the executive, but the general public as well. And the example is there in front of you as one of the panelists. Remember the recent case of the bishop? Now to the second issue. Rahul, 35,000 rapes are committed in India every year. It is the most heinous of crimes. Why? Because crime is identifiable by the possession of loot. But in rape, what is it that the rapist possesses after it is over? Nothing but his guilt, if at all. And that is why a rapist thinks of the female body differently. He has assaulted the intangible human emotion. Now I ask you, who are we to judge the severity of an assault on this intangible? Is one act of rape any less heinous than the other 34,999? Are rape survivors in Karnataka or Rajasthan or Maharashtra any less worthy of our attention and outrage than in UP or Kerala survivors? Emotional outrage can only highlight the problem. It cannot solve it. If we want justice, we must acknowledge that emotions have no role in delivering it. For justice delivered with emotions becomes vigilante justice. We need to deal with only facts. Rahul, by the time this debate ends, 4 women would have been raped. Rape incidence rate has increased from 0.3 in 2004 to 3.1 in 2014 to 5 today. All governments are complicit. Justice Verma report hasn't been implemented in full. Most of the 3,500 crore Nirbhaya fund is still unspent, even after 8 years. No one is willing to ask, how do you solve a problem when 94.6% of rapists are relatives or friends of the survivor? When 100% literacy state like Kerala has 4 times more incidents of rape than UP or Bengal. How? By lighting candles? No. By rejecting politics and cushioning of a crime and accepting science and data, and by applying law equally to everyone, politician or religious leader or you or me.